You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. Go there if you ask questions, because I have answers. And Marcel writes, Marcel's doing a public service announcement. He wanted to help out other people going to med school, specifically telling them which med schools to and not to go to, because some are scams. And so I'll just read this here, because I know we have a fair amount. We have like a contingent, a subsegment of Cappy Capites who are interested in becoming medical doctors. And we had a couple that were in a horrible position of going to medical school, but they can't find a residency because these schools they attended, their residency or their medical school degrees are not recognized or sought after by different hospitals and universities. Hey, asshole, can I get this one for free? Just kidding, fuckface. I just wanted to do help a brother out week thing by sharing some wisdom for those hardworking people out there. This is about how medical school can be a total fucking scam. First off, all accredited U.S. allopathic MD and osteopathic DO schools are legitimate options. Also, Western European and Australian schools are also legitimate options, but the caveat being their training is longer and it is a pain in the ass to get back to the United States. What I wanted to discuss was how other options could screw people over. For people that have completed undergrad and want to become physicians, but for some reason their application is too weak to get into medical school in the United States, then they begin to consider other options. Some of the other options are going to Caribbean or other foreign medical schools. This can screw people over because it is extremely difficult to come back to the United States for residency unless you have significantly better scores on Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3 exams than their American counterparts. I'm talking like a full standard deviation above average is needed to be considered for residency. Now, for the racial aspect of it, for white and Asian students, it is honestly very hard to get into medical school. You could easily be smart enough to complete the work, but the competition is fierce nonetheless. I would recommend either do a post-BACC, B-A-C-C, baccalaureate. I don't know what that is. You're talking to the guy who goes, this is a completely different world for me. I'm just happy we can help out people in this world. Recommend either do a post-baccalaureate program or go to Western Europe, or maybe a Caribbean, with the idea that you must get rock star grades and scores and be willing to do a ton of research and willing to work in hellhole places for residency. You know what? If they're making it that hard to become a doctor, because we've had a doctor, he kind of watches the show regularly. He is a physician, and he's of the camp that, like, when you take in all the bullshit that they're making you go through to become a doctor, it's not worth it. And that does not even include the affirmative action and extra hurdles white and Asian dudes would have to deal with, or dudettes. He's just saying the what you got to put into it is not worth it anymore. And I'm kind of inclined to agree. Like, you know, at any point in time, and I'd like to say the baby boomers, but now it's Gen Xers, they're slowly getting in charge of this. We can make it a lot easier, not lowering the standards, we can make it a lot easier for us to have more doctors, more dentists, more engineers. At any point in time, we can stop forcing kids to basically piss away their entire youth on education. We could churn out doctors at 24, 25 if we really, really wanted to. But we choose not to. And so you gotta ask yourself, this is worth my time and effort and energy and sacrificing your entire youth? I'm like, no. I mean, I know I wouldn't become a lawyer, I wouldn't become a doctor. It's just like, no, especially if you're a minimalist and you don't, it's like, you know, so I mean, you gotta have the right attitude. Maybe you do want to become a surgeon, certainly, if you can make it. But if they're gonna put this much risk where you're like, well, go to med school, take on $200,000, and we'll fuck you if you can't make it, you know, it's like, yeah, that's a losing proposition right there. As for blacks and Latinos, fuck no, you shouldn't go to Caribbean ever, maybe Western Europe, but for fuck's sake, he's putting this in caps, but for fuck's sake, do not go to the Caribbean. Why? Because the standards are so much lower for black and Latino kids to get into medical school in the USA that you can't either get in here, either one, you are too lazy, two, immature, three, done fucked up a lot, that was in capital quotes too, four, just not smart enough. If Cappy has any other possible reasons, add them in. I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about this. So what you're saying is Let me reread this again, but for the fuck's sake, you know why? Because the standards are so much lower for black and Latino kids to get into the medical school in the United States that if you can't get in there either, okay, so he's saying do not go to the Caribbean schools because it should be easy enough for you to get into the American schools, which makes me now, I'm terribly sorry, and oh, this is going to hurt O'Shea Jackson's feelings, but now I'm wondering, like, if the standards have been that lowered, affirmative action always calls into the question. We have sacrificed. We are not judging by the content of character or ability. We are judging by the color of skin. We're doing the exact same opposite what Martin Luther King and everybody presumably wanted. And so now, because it's my heart or my brain or my kidneys or whatever, my spleen, I don't want somebody that got in because of the color of the skin. I want the best motherfucking doctor possible. I'm sorry, I'll go with O'Shea if he ever gets his ass back here in the United States, because I trust the man. But yeah, I'm picking males, and I'm picking whites and Asians, and the rest of you can all go fuck yourself, because it's my life. I am not like a feminist, leftist refugee camp worker. I am not okay getting raped, killed, or murdered by the people I purport to support. I am not going to get killed by a cocksucking level of addiction to diversity. I am an independent-minded person, least of all because I like life. So fuck diversity and fuck affirmative action. I want excellence, especially when it comes to my dick. All right, Clary's dick demanding excellence. That's all right. So yeah, that's basically saying if you can't jump that hurdle, you don't even bother with Caribbean schools. Now, can this be a scam, you ask? Well, for one thing, Caribbean schools oftentimes do not require anything of an applicant beyond completing the prerequisites for a U.S. medical school and or an MCAT score well below anything that would be accepted. So what these schools will do is accept anyone, take their money, and then just before the second year ends, give them a crazy hard final that if you fail means you instantly get kicked out of the school. So, okay, this is just like these private fly-by-night colleges here in the United States that aren't accredited, and if you can't get, because I worked at two of these schools, they're like, oh, you can't get into, I mean, seriously, if you can't get into the fucking community college in the University of Minnesota system, you are a fucking retard. They lower those standards. So the kids that I was teaching couldn't even fucking manage that. That's how stupid these are kids that are not meant to go to college. Just frankly, they're wasting their time and their money. So what these schools will do is accept anyone and take the money. All right, so now you have over $100,000 in debt and no degree. Oh, and it gets better for those of you that pass the second year thinking everything is cool. When you start applying for residencies in the beginning of fourth year, you will find out that no one wants you because you are going to a Caribbean. Because by going to a Caribbean, your average scores look like garbage on paper, unfortunately. Yes, you really, really worked hard and spent all this time and money to get fucked in the end. By the way, without at least 1 year of residency, you cannot get a medical license in the United States. I know all this sounds terrible and like a load of hyperbole, but I have gotten to see this nightmare scenario occur 20 times between my family, friends, and old college classmates. How much for a bid? Thank you. And then he mentions he wanted to thank other people, but yeah, dude, no, this is, look, we're men here, and some brave women that come onto this channel. This is not terrible. This is the truth, and what's terrible is when we don't mention this shit, and thousands, maybe tens of thousands, heaven help if it's hundreds of thousands, people go and get scammed out. Look at the millions of kids that go out every year and major in the liberal arts. Because, it sounds so terrible, we don't want to tell them that their dreams are nightmares. No, tell these motherfuckers their dreams are nightmares. Say, no, you can't do that. You're going to fail miserably. And the situation you're in now, as bad as you think it is, just imagine if you have a $200,000 student debt load and you can't go become a doctor in the United States. You're fucked for the rest of your life. You are just fucked. I'm wondering, because I don't know the financing aspect of it, but if these Caribbean schools are the ones financing, like you get the student loans from these Caribbean schools, I won't pay them back. Because what are they going to do? Come here to the United States and come get you? I mean, that'd be another question asked is, okay, what is this $200,000 in debt consistent of? Who lent these people the money to go to a Caribbean school? But neither here nor there. This is not bad. This is very important. this is like, don't do drugs, don't drink while you're pregnant, I know what, don't commit, but it's a scam. Look out for this scam, look out for that scam, don't join pyramid schemes. And so you're doing the Lord's work here, and this has to get out. What we really got to do is get over this bullshit that your dreams and your goals and your passions trump reality, which is what pretty much 2 full generations of dipshit Americans have started to believe.
My teacher said I could do anything I want if I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about it. I'm really passionate about it. It's my dream. Well, it's your dream and you're passionate? I didn't know. Well, let's just change laws of physics and economics so that you can have your passion. So, no, you're saving. If we can spread this out, share it. Please do share it. I'll put this both up on YouTube and the VidMe so it gets as much exposure as possible. But, I mean, yeah, if you know anyone who's about to go to med school, well, and they're not gonna be able to get into a United States med school, and they're thinking about, let's spread this around, help this out, help out the community. Because, man, it's one thing if you can't get into med school. It's like, well, maybe I go to a boot camp, programming boot camp. Maybe I go to the military, or maybe I get some certifications in IT. Well, 2 years later, you're making money, you're doing well. But if you go and get $200,000 in debt and you can't get a residency, you are fucked. I mean, hope that helps out. Best luck to all of you. Toodles.